Hey everyone, it's Kristin and welcome to the Highly Visible Entrepreneur Series. I did go live this morning to kick it all off, and I kind of goofed up showing my slides a few times, so I'm re-recording this training so that if you want to re-watch it or if you missed the live, you get a nice clean version and you can see what the frickety frack I'm talking about. This entire series has been put together in celebration of my 10th year in business. It is our 10-year anniversary, so I'm bringing you 10 days of hot training. And to keep it really manageable, they're just 30-minute laser trainings with my experts. I'll share with you what they're gonna share in a moment. But all of it is coming together to help you get highly visible this year. Two different things we want to talk about with visibility. One is getting it, meaning isolating in our business is not healthy. And it also feels pretty crummy. But it can happen when we're in a slump, or if we tend to be a little introverted in nature. We can sometimes get a little quiet, or if we've been doing a lot of online marketing. So we want to make sure you're connected, that you do online and in-person marketing, that you're getting highly visible. That's part one. Part two of this series, and my goal for you is to get visible in a way that attracts paying clients. So on top of knowing how to get visible, you need to know how to leverage that opportunity and have the right strategy so that it's really working for you. So we're going to focus on those two skills and those two gifts to give you over the next 10 days. I've got tons of amazing experts all coming together to help you. Let me see if I can share my screen a little bit while we're here. Okay, so a couple things. As we're going through this, remember that this is all to help you attract partnerships, to attract prospective clients, to close clients, to get known, to really build your name recognition while you're out there, get more referred clients, get testimonials for your programs and for your speaking abilities, obviously increase your income. You might want to be filling a membership site, grow your email marketing list, really build your reputation as a go-to girl or guy in your industry. This is critical if you want more opportunities to come your way. You have to be ready to capitalize on them, right? This will help you enjoy a flexible schedule too, because everything that I teach really has leverage in it. I've grown my business working 3 days a week, or when my son became school age, working part-time days and ending early, so that I am a present mom and I have a career at the same time. But because I was a mom, as I built my business, I couldn't just work 24/7. So I've got lots of tricks up my sleeve to help you maximize your time and impact during your working hours so that you can do really focused, high impact, momentum generating activities, and then have time with your loved ones for your spiritual life, whatever it is that's lighting you up. It's there for you. So this is about really building your confidence in this area and giving you some strategy too. And quick reminder, please share this video out, share this, series out with other people if you appreciate it. We appreciate it. A rising tide lifts all ships. So if you would share this series and the lives when you're on them with other people, I would greatly appreciate it. And in return, again, we're going to reach out and help you lift by bringing you 10 amazing trainings. And I'm going to share with you what those are in a quick second. I want to go back to the slides because I want to share this kind of analogy around what we're going to be training on over these next 10 days. It's really to build your pipeline. And I call it a rock your talk pipeline, so different than an online marketing one. The pipe itself is what brings you the water. And by the way, just good to remember, you can go get water one by one, right? Get a bucket, fill up that bucket, bring it back, drink it one by one. You can get your water that way, just like you can get your clients that way one by one. But the pipeline is a much faster, more consistent, scalable way of getting water on one hand or clients on the other. So I want you to think of your talk as your pipeline. When you build your talk, you build an on-ramp, a pipe in which clients can come into you, right? And actually start working with you. The faucet part, where you would actually turn the water on and off, that's like the place where the people in the pipeline, they convert from being leads into paying clients. That's a really important part of the process. So while we're sharing with you platforms that can get you visible, We also want to share those strategies that make that faucet work. Again, transforming leads into clients. And then there's the container, and that's the way you serve them. That's the course, the product, the membership site, the podcast, the event, wherever it is you're bringing them into, whatever your offer is. You always want to know, where are you leading people? They come in for your talk, you convert them, they're like, I'm in, where do you want me to go next? You need to have a place. That's your offer. And again, for each of you, it's going to be different, and that is totally fine. But when we do this well, the visibility, and let me make my video, I don't know why this video is either tiny or giant. When you combine visibility with strategy, it leads to momentum that will actually get you paying clients. And that's what we're looking for. Absolutely critical. I look at when I opened my Rock Your Talk course and did a launch, it got me extremely visible to new audiences far and wide. So while we sold 103 of the course we launched, which was Rock Your Talk, 103 people bought it. It was $1,000 up to like $1,500, depending upon the pay plan that you chose. We'll just call it $1,000 to make the math easy. That would be 103,000, right? It's a little more than that, but whatever. But I sold over $200,000 that week when we opened the doors to the program. We sold over $200,000 in sales. How is that? That's because of the ripple effect. When you get highly visible, lots of opportunities are going to come in. So yes, 103 people bought the course, which is what we were selling, but other people raise their hand and say, hey, can we do a VIP day? Can you craft my talk and strategy for me? Hey, I want private mentorship, that kind of thing. So the ripple effect caused an even bigger surge of revenue coming in. That's the joy of momentum and strategy. Now, just to remind you, there are tons of places to get visible. We're going to be talking about lots of different platforms over the course of the next 10 days, but there are associations where you can go to speak locally, regionally, nationally. There are events, tons of conferences and events for every topic imaginable, whether you're a keto dietitian, fitness person into keto diet, or you're into, what is that fitness stuff where you run around and jump through the fire? You know what I'm talking about, like really rugged cross-training fitness. There's conferences for that. There's conferences for moms. There's conferences for wealth building, for personal development, family development, and everything in between, right? There's a place for you. Podcast. Now, the first time I built this slide and shared a number about podcasts, there were 115,000 podcasts. And I just looked this number up today. It's 750,000 and climbing. So probably, knocking on the door of 1 million podcasts, and then millions and millions and millions of people listening. I've had the joy of being on Super Fast Business with James Schramko, a really amazing online marketer out of Australia. John Lee Dumas's Entrepreneur on Fire, amazing experience, always just a total sweetheart of a guy. Those opportunities have come to me because I understand how to rock my talk and package my message. So we'll talk about that today. And then over the next 10 days, during the weekdays only, weekends off for everybody, I'm bringing you some amazing guest trainers. So Andrew is going to be here tomorrow. He'll be live on my page with me at 11:30 in the morning Pacific time, 2:30 Eastern, helping you turn your Facebook groups into a money-making machine. So he is brilliant and really has unlocked the code for not Facebook ads, although he does know how to use them, but how do you set those aside and really build a community in your Facebook group, activate it, and be generating sales from it regularly. I am really excited to learn from Andrew, and I'm sure you will be too. David Newman's going to be here midweek to talk about keynote speaking. That's another revenue stream that can come in. I will be talking to you about closing on the one-to-many platforms. How do you convert more clients? Absolutely important skill to have so that you really maximize every opportunity. Sherry Lee is going to talk about your Facebook fan page. It's really important to get that dialed in. That'll support your group for growing. It'll also help you with the algorithm so that more people see your posts or ads if you do choose to run them. Christina Daves, a good friend and client of mine, just adore her. We've been friends for years. And more than adoring her, she is brilliant when it comes to do-it-yourself publicity. Her free trainings rival other people's paid trainings. So I'm definitely going to have her share a couple of really great golden nuggets that you'll be able to put into practice right away to get visible on top media? How do you get on a TV show? What if you were featured in a magazine for your industry, or that your industry reads? It might be Success Magazine, Forbes Magazine, Realtor Magazine, Fitness Magazine. What if you were featured in one of those magazines? Imagine the opportunities that would come your way. It happens fast. Christina can show you how. Chris Weiser, pumped about Chris. You might meet Christina at the Rise. We'll see what how her schedule shakes out. You're probably going to meet Sherry Lee at the Rise live event in October. Chris Weiser is going to be at the Rise live event in October talking about LinkedIn, and I'm going to get him to share some of those tips with you right away during this promotion, during this free series. He has mastered LinkedIn. So for those of you who want corporate clients, or maybe you're looking to get speaking opportunities using LinkedIn, he's got it all mapped out so you can grow your list, and you know how to reach out, you know what to say, and you know how to turn those into paying clients. Easy peasy. Juliet, masterful at organic marketing. Again, nothing that I'm going to have people share with you this week has anything to do with paid ads. Am I villainizing paid ads? No, I love paid ads, but I want you to have access to free platforms and free marketing, because the ads are getting more expensive and they're more competitive now than ever. So let's just give you all the other options right now, because there's a lot of them. Juliet is very well versed in paid ads, much like I am, and Chris is, and everybody else on this list, but she is a real champion of organic, non-paid marketing. We're going to dig into that. Michelle Schaefer, a good friend of mine for many years in this industry, is going to talk about collaboration. This is such an important topic when we're talking about visibility. Again, a rising tide lifts all ships. This is not about being an iceberg or an island by yourself. This is about joining hands and let's get visible. When you collaborate, just like we saw with those, the Rock Your Talk launch numbers, the reason why I got so visible and generated all those sales, collaboration. It's going to keep coming back to get you speaking gigs, to promote your product or services, to get on stages, to build your list. We'll talk all about it and give you some great tips on how to get started. Tamara Thompson is going to talk about broadcasting your authority using video. She's created some amazing videos for me, and we've actually collaborated quite a bit. So we'll talk about that and how you can too. And then we're wrapping this up talking about brand with Chelsea and Rose. Both are branding experts in two very different areas. Chelsea does the online visual branding. Rose Jubb does your personal style. How do you look and how do you feel when you look on brand, and how do people perceive you? Very important topic, really fun way to tie up this series. Again, you're going to meet a ton of these folks if you join us at the Rise Live event in October, and then you'll be meeting them throughout the week in these 30-minute laser training sessions. Please come with a beginner's mind. I always show this slide at the Rise Live event. Shoshin means beginner's mind. It's an attitude of endless learning. And I really encourage you to bring that to everything you do. So if you've heard a tip before, you think, oh, I know about LinkedIn. Yeah, but you don't know Chris's take on LinkedIn, you know? These people are killing it on their platforms. It's why I chose them to come and teach you. So be open and just get one thing. Honestly, if you only got one tip from this entire 10 days, it would be worth it. But I would set a goal for yourself, get one tip from each person, and then know that you don't need to master all of these platforms. Just pick the top ones that are going to fit for you, your strengths, and your lifestyle. And I'll be helping guide you through that process during this series. So at the Rise and in my coaching sessions, it's like half teasing, half not joking, not joking. I can't coach you if you're not doing anything. You know, we talk about this all the time. Implementation is key. So as you're getting these tips this week, please, please, please implement, put them into action one at a time. That's what's going to make that big impact. And that's what gives you something to bring back to your coach and say, I tried this. Here's what happened. We can adjust your strategy. I tried this message. Here's what resonated. Here's what didn't. Great. We can adjust. But all of that coaching and strategy, it's really hard to do if you're sitting in your office twiddling your thumbs, right? You got to get out there, be a little bold here. You're going to see huge rewards if you're willing, and you'll give us lots of good goodies to work with, to fine tune and amplify your results. So as we shift through into crafting your message, before we talk about how to do that strategically, please focus on what you might want or need to let go of to get where you want to go. So what I've noticed is, I'm going to stop sharing for a quick sec. Okay, we had a little quick commercial break while my dog was slurping his water as loudly as humanly possible. Okay, 3 things that you want to let go of. So there's a mindset piece to getting visible. He's going to come traipsing back through here in a minute. There's a mindset piece to getting visible that's really important to talk about before we talk about the strategy and how do we craft your message or all of the kind of practical pieces. So please remember that we all play small. I mean, myself included, we tend to set our bar a little lower than what we're capable of. And sometimes we're holding ourselves back on stepping into the highest version of ourselves. So consider what are a few things or even one thing that if you shed it, if you let go of it, you might be a little bolder. You might be willing to do more Facebook Lives or to step on more stages or to just do it more boldly and courageously. I had a lot of mindset and I still work on it, but I've shifted through a lot of these things. But let me share some of the ones that were holding me back in the beginning because it might help you and you might relate to this. I worried that people would think I was like bossy or that I thought I was really important or was conceited or something if I like presented confidently. So sometimes I would kind of like shrink back and be kind of like, oh, shucksy. I call it aw shucks. I would get aw shucks to avoid appearing bodacious or bodacious. Is that the right word? Braggadocious. That is the right word. Cocky. That's the right word. Just did not want to be perceived that way. Well, once I really thought about it, I realized, I'm not really helping anybody here. And by the way, I'm focusing on myself and that's not the right focus. Who should we be focused on? We should always be focused on serving our audience. So does it help my ideal client, someone who's in the audience who maybe is a little nervous about stepping up or is speaking but wants to amplify their results, make sure every talk is converting at a higher level? Am I going to attract that client if I am playing small and doing aw shucks? No. Am I helping that person by doing that? No. And then how can I tell someone else, go, honor your expertise. You deserve it. It's not showy. Well, how can I say that if I'm not even willing to do it? Okay. So you're getting my point, I hope. I had a real breakthrough that day when I realized all of that worry was just self-focused. So when we focus on our audience instead, we can break through some of these limiting thoughts. Another thought that I had in the very beginning of my business, I'm going to refill my water while we're chatting, was that, maybe my husband would not enjoy it if I was like really like Kristin on parade. You know what I mean? Like unabashedly me. What if he doesn't like it? What if he's like, oh, she thinks she's all that now? Or again, just thoughts. It had nothing to do with reality. My husband is a sweetheart and he's so supportive, and he's been for this whole decade. I wouldn't even be able to have a business without his support, right? He makes it possible for me to go out of town and go do my speaking opportunities, all of that by helping out with our kiddo too. So it had nothing to do with him or how he was treating me or anything. It was just my own fears, but I had to face them and I had to sit down and tell him, I'm afraid that if I really go for this, that I'm going to lose you and I don't want to lose you. So can you come with me on this journey? And that is a really important step when you notice the places and what is holding you back, beliefs or stories you're telling yourself that are keeping you playing a little small. So I share a few of mine with you today in hopes that it allows you to shed yours as I shed mine. I stopped doing the aw shucks, I'm just a sidekick act and said, no, I am goofy and I do speak in my own wacky way, but I'm me. I'm the leader of this ship. I'm in control and command when I'm at the front of the room. I'm going to take care of my audience. I'm going to make sure everybody has fun. I'm going to make sure you learn great stuff and have a good time all at once. It's happening. So on that note, let's push forward and then decide whatever you let go of, whether it's 1 or 3 things. Everything you surrender, you need to add something in. Dr. Phil reminded me of this one day, many, many years ago when I watched Dr. Phil, when I worked for NBC. Many of you might not know I worked for NBC and CBS selling advertising for years before I ever learned how to speak and sell to groups. So Dr. Phil would always be on the TV in the sales office every afternoon. And I heard him say this once, that, when you let go of a habit, you have to replace it. You can't just leave a void inside of you. You really have to replace it. So whatever you let go of, however many number of things, replace it with something equivalent. So aw shucks, what I call the game that I play and the story I tell myself, I replace with authentic, humble confidence. And I do it in spirit of service to the audience. That works for me. So I replaced aw shucks with confidence so that I can serve at the highest level. You see how that works? So once you decide what to let go of, you're going to decide what to replace it with. Very valuable. And why are we doing this? Because when you get visible, you can share your message. You can be giving talks online and off, doing interviews, podcasts, television shows, and those can attract consultations to other talks and speaking engagements. You can get sponsors for your website or for an event or for your podcast. You can sell workshops, in-house training for corporations, fill a live event or workshop, sell your online course. I mean, the list goes on and on. Attract promotional partners, all of this. So today, what I wanted to help you with is how do you organize the content piece so that you're ready for everything else we're going to teach you over this 10-day series. So I really like to start by creating your signature system after you figure out your brand, which is step one in the Rock Your Talk system. And we will be talking about brand here in this series, as well as at the Rise live event. Is a very important piece, is putting your personality on everything. So that's step one of the Rock Your Talk system. Step two is creating your system. So we rock your brand and then we rock your system. That's really kind of a fancy way, I guess, of saying we need to organize your expertise into a system that you can get known for. It's going to help you in tons of ways, which is going to be clear in like 1 second. Sorry, I have allergies today. Okay, so think about the topic, the thing you do, and that's this mountain right here in the middle. So for me, this mountain would be speaking to grow your business. That's the mountain I help my clients climb. And so when your clients come to you over here on the left side, they're in the problem. They don't have the answers yet. And you need to kind of create these landmarks, these levels basically that they can achieve to get to the other side where they've figured it out and they're getting great results. So you may find that you have 3 or 4 steps that get people up over this mountain. You may find you have 5. You may find you have 7. The precise number is not important. What's important is that they are the right pillars, the right keys, chunks that we need to cover to get people up over the mountain. So I'll show you my Rock Your Talk course as an example, which hopefully will help bring this to life. So again, if we were going to name my mountain something, it's speaking to grow your business, right? That's really the topic I focus in on. And then I say, what's the first thing I need to teach people? Well, that's that brand personality piece. How do you stand out? How do you be confident being you? Utilizing this also to kind of create a consistent personality across all of your content and how you show up in real life. All of that. So important to be comfortable, confident, and attract ideal clients. So that's the first thing we do because it kind of colors everything else. Then we organize your expertise. We're talking about a little bit about that right now. Then we take that and we craft your talk using the talk template as our guide so that we have a great structure that serves and sells. Then we go deliver the talk. We really rock it out. We command the room. We have our personality into our message, and we do it all with some strategy layered into it so that we swoop into that last step, which is all about making money. So I knew these were the big pillars that we had to conquer, or the big keys I need to give you if I'm going to help you rock your talk. Now, all of my clients go through the system, whether this is all they do is the online course, or whether they're in my group coaching, or you do a VIP day with me. Every client goes through the system because it's fundamental to how I help people. You want the same thing for your expertise. And this, by the way, works even if you have a podcast. Let's say this is your podcast. What are the big pillars that you want to make sure of content and topics that you want to cover on your podcast? It's probably not infinite. It might be, but probably not. Most good podcasts, they really have a niche. So what are the key focuses that you would want to have? So this works for a workshop, and it works for your online course. It works for a membership site. It's a great way to organize your content. So for right now, we're going to use this in the context of your talk. So if the mountain, again, is your core expertise, that's the core topic people come to you and hire you for, right? And you map your steps up over the mountain. Now what we can do is circle the top 3 or 4 steps. And by top, what I mean is something very specific. The most enticing steps that if you taught something under this umbrella, like if I taught you something under your brand, under that topic, that it would really get you excited about coming and working with me a little deeper. And there's a really fun exercise I take people, there's several, but there's one in particular that I often take people through on personal brand that on your rocking your brand that helps draw people in and get them excited. If I was going to choose another one, it's definitely got to be something around crafting your talk, because that's absolutely critical. Tons of people are giving talks and getting compliments, but not clients. Well, this is why. If you don't know the talk structure, it totally snafus your results. So I always talk about that. It's a really important step, and people get very excited about learning it. And then the money-making skills is a no-brainer. Got to teach that. So if I could only teach 3 things, those are going to be the 3 that I would grab and circle out of my 5 total steps. Why is that? Again, I'm not going in order. I'm not saying it's the first 3. I'm grabbing the 3 that I know will give the most impact when I teach it and get people really excited. You want to do the same thing. And what this will serve as is the content for right here in the middle of your talk. The largest chunk of content in your talk is your teaching. There is a template for how I have you teach your main points so that it is not too much content or no content, right? We want the right balance of enough content to give people that aha on your topic where they go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I want to learn more. Oh, I love this. We want that reaction. What we don't want is overwhelm or so much content that they're like, once I get through all of these tips, then I'll call you and hire you. We don't want that. So there's a specific way that I suggest that you guide people through that. But for now, all I want you to anchor to is this idea that the main points are going to be those most impactful 3, 4 at the most steps. That's what's going to become the meat of your talk, your teaching points of your talk. Now, remember, once we outline your talk, you can use it across tons of platforms. It's crazy. You really can spin out all of these pillars, by the way, can become talking points if you are being interviewed or you're going to do a Facebook Live. You can go, let me grab one of these little content pieces and do my Facebook Live on that. If you're going to do a video, if you want to write a book, by the way, this system could become your book, right? Each of these, if you put 3 chapters on brand, 3 on that, 3 on that, 3, I don't know. I have no idea how to write a book. I have an expert for that. She'll be at the Rise. You will meet her at the Rise. She's amazing. But you can literally take your content and turn it into a book, a live event, obviously a course or a product of some kind. In your conversations with LinkedIn, we'll talk about that with Chris Weiser, podcast interview. You can take the same message and just grab the little bits and pieces from your talk that you need when you need it. So it makes it very, very easy. So make sure you do this quick exercise today. Again, mapping out your steps and then circling the top 3 or 4. This is about really helping you get highly visible in a way that's going to build your business. Why? Again, if your calendar is wide empty and you are in total quiet isolation in your business, it's not healthy and it certainly is not fun. What you're missing out on is that reward of somebody saying, oh, thank you for sharing that with me. I finally get it. Yes, we want that for you. And it only comes if you're willing to get visible. And the reward is so fast. Even if you only speak to 3 people, if one of them lights up, you're going to be like, yes, that's why I do this for a living. So good gigs, we could call them opportunities of all different kinds. They are the greatest predictor of you getting more clients and cash flow. This calendar tells me something is wrong in your cash flow. If it's not dead now, it's going to be within the next probably 60 days. This tells me in the next 60 days, you're going to be making more money. So maybe on Mondays, 2 Mondays or 3 Mondays a month, you spend an hour on LinkedIn. We'll talk about how to do that with Chris. Maybe you give a couple talks every month. By the way, in the membership site, I put in a calendar for you. See if I can pull this up real quick for you. Not a calendar. What did I say? A calendar. No, I added a calculator. So when you go into this membership site, somewhere on this page, there is this calculator, which is so fun. So you can decide, oh, I'm going to give a talk a week. I only speak to small networking groups that have, maybe 25 people. Okay, great. And what do I need to do? My course is $1,000. Let's just say say I'm just getting started. I'm just going to try to make this kind of conservative. As you can see, I'm not cranking these numbers up high. Let's say your course is only $500 and you close 25% of the room is 0.25. Look at that number that's the calculator filled in. I want you to just seriously have some fun with this calculator. I think you're going to be surprised. What if you got a little better at closing the room? Oh, I'm sorry. You're making 15 grand extra every month. Well, good for you. That's what we help you do here at Rock Your Talk and Speak, Serve, Grow. So please use that calculator because it'll get you excited about, you could do one big talk every month or lots of little ones. But guess what? The money is still there. There's a sweet payday for you no matter how you use your talk. So you might spend a few times every month speaking, and then maybe, 2 Fridays a month, you work on drumming up some media, some publicity, and some exposure. This isn't about overwhelming your calendar. That's what I'm trying to say. Hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. We just don't want this. We don't want isolation. We want opportunity. Yes, baby. That's what we do inside the Rise Tribe, by the way. That's my group program. And we do this at the Rise as well, by the way. There are implementation what do we call those? Like sprints. Thank you, brain. Little sprints where you're going to go book some gigs and you get some promotional partners. It's super fun. Everybody always gets opportunities like while they're at the Rise, but this was just on a Monday call we did recently. You can see every single person is getting a talk booked, a partner. They're getting invited to give talks and do keynotes, all kinds of fun stuff. And this, again, is to get you more clients. So we don't just want to fill your calendar with opportunities. We want to know how to really, really maximize those opportunities. Because when you lead them correctly, again, there's that ripple effect. You're going to get clients. You're going to grow your email list. You're going to attract promotional partners. You're going to get speaking invitations. They really all do come when you know how to leverage these opportunities. So your kind of homework for today is just to work on your signature system. Even if you already have one, work on it and revisit it and make sure that it contains the right elements as you grow in your business. Often your system will grow and your brand needs to grow right along with it. It evolves and it kind of ascends and gets better and more distilled. So it's always good to do this exercise, even if you're a pro. That's going to help you for the rest of the series where we start talking about all the different platforms. I'm going to come back to talk about closing the room one-to-many tomorrow, Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. on my Facebook page. There's links in this membership site, and obviously you can just go straight to the page. Andrew will be with me, and we are going to be talking about Facebook groups. Super excited to get some golden nuggets out of Andrew for you to help you turn your Facebook group into a moneymaker and really a community that's activated and ready to rock. I'm so excited you're here. Have fun playing with the bonuses. Definitely play with that Rock Your Talk calculator. And I will look forward to seeing you later this week when I come back to help you close more clients one-to-many. And I hope to get to meet lots of you at the Rise Live event. I will be sharing with you a discounted way where you can attend just during this promotion. If you are a client of mine, you already have access to a free ticket. We will be reminding you this week how to get your free ticket if you are already a client. If we're not working together and you would love to come to the Rise Live event, don't worry, I've got you covered. We've got a special discount code I will reveal later this week. And during this 10-day celebration, you'll be able to come get your seat at the Rise Live event here in October at a really sweet VIP discount, almost like you're my client. We're going to treat you super right. You're going to feel great. And I will love to be able to spend those 3 days helping you rock your talk and rock your revenue with your message. We're going to do it. Until then, I'll see you on my Facebook page every weekday at 11 a.m. this week, Pacific time, with one 30-minute laser tight training next day. Tomorrow is Facebook groups. The day after that, keynote speaking. Okay, enjoy. I'll see you soon. Keep on rocking.